We're back. I'm on business today.
Right.
Okay.
Guys, welcome back to the Keeping the Frank podcast show.
Welcome back to the Keeping It Frank podcast show with me, your boy, the host of the mother effing most, Keston Howdy Frank. What up, people?
And who does the most? Because he does the most for
You know
no
what I'm saying?
reason.
And you know who I'm with.
Your favorite person. Everyone's favorite person.
I mean, I don't know if that's a fact, but I mean, we'll just...
I'm going to add that on a shirt too.
We'll let that have that. We'll let you have that because it's what she feels.
It's Triggs, Trigger Trey, you know, the number one co-host ever.
Bop.
Hey.
Yeah. And today we have a special guest, man.
Guest.
So, this is... he was actually in my first episode of the Keep It Frank podcast show. Well, the first time I had a guest.
Ooh.
Yeah. This was back in 2020. I call it 2020, BT, before trailing.
I was like BT. I think it was about to be like before COVID, but no.
Now before trailing. This is literally like my brother, you know what I'm saying? My brother from a different mother and father, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's real. It's my nigga, you know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
That's my nigga, you know what I'm saying?
know.
He's a businessman, entrepreneur, basically the same shit.
Yeah.
Entertainer, you know what I'm saying? No behavior, because he had no behavior.
Yeah, that was archives. Tell them.
Welcome to the show.
Yo.
Aquel J, what up, baby?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to take
Blessed to be here.
We got to toast it up before we get started. You know how it is.
Cheers.
Yes, sir.
Well, properly introduce yourself, though, for the new people that only started watching now because I'm on.
Yeah. Now, BT.
I mean, his introduction was fire, but check. If you don't know, I am Aquel J, formerly Young Via. That used to be my artist name.
Mm-hmm.
So I am Aquel J. Recording artist, soca recording artist,
That's next.
restaurant entrepreneur, you can call it that, you understand? Investor.
I like
it.
it.
Soon I wanna be like this lady over here and go into acting, stuff like that,
I like it. I like all the titles.
Yeah, I do it, man.
So let's be honest, do you like the coming on the podcast BT or what's up?
No, this is the vibe right here. We right here. This is the vibe. I like it.
He actually started the whole, he started the whole, drinking, getting a bottle before we get started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he bought the
But
first
that has
bottle.
nothing to do with me.
I know,
I'm asking
I
if
know.
he likes it now that I'm here.
Oh, yeah. It's his first time.
but-
He's not going to notice until it's over, until it ends.
All right, so I'll ask
You know what I'm
again.
saying?
I'll ask
But
again.
after it ends, then he'll be like, yeah.
I'll ask again at the end. We'll revisit that question.
You know what I'm saying?
First of all,
I asked a question for four and shit.
have
It's
all
crazy.
your guests been bringing bottles? That was supposed to be the tradition. Somebody's supposed to bring something.
Now, it ended with Keyshawn. He brought beers.
Okay. Was it imported business? Was it something you can't get?
Then I was like, you know what? We're going to stop it now. We're just going to bring my own shit.
We brought our own stuff. I'm usually the one that brings a nice variety of things.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what you mean? I brought some Brazilian rum one time. Made a little caipirinha. Remember?
Yeah, I remember caipirinha.
I be trying to spice it up.
What I made last week though.
No, okay. What he made last week was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Well,
I brought some rum, and all he had was frozen fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a smoothie.
Yeah.
But it was like a rum smoothie. It was actually
Fire.
very
It's
good
fire.
You made a smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
with rum.
It's good.
We might have to bottle it.
That I have
was
to
really
fix.
good.
I have to see what that's about.
It was good
really
shit.
But let's get to the good conversation. So you named all these titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said, soca artist, restaurant entrepreneur, right? Investing.
Right.
So, I mean, what was the first thing that you started with out of those?
Well, my foundation was always music.
Okay.
My father was a recording artist, and he owned like the first, or at the time, the only Caribbean record store in Manhattan. So he just kept me around it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always music for me. I always wanted to be like him, so to speak. So it started with music, and he cooked too. He wasn't a chef, but he was one of the people who cook. He let him tell her. He was like, "Yo, I showed your mother how to cook." That'd be that.
No, sometimes men can cook better than women. Like they sometimes. I don't know about this one.
I
Sometimes.
definitely cook I definitely
Sometimes.
All right.
Well, sometimes I mean,
Don't
listen.
just
as long
throw
as the
me out
food
here
is
like
good,
this.
I
Right?
don't care who cook it, man, woman, auntie, uncle, daddy, mommy. I don't care as long as it's good and you know they both cook. So you know we have similar techniques because he really didn't show me.
Okay.
He just kept me around. You know, at the
you
age
just
I was really young.
observe it.
Exactly. So yeah, I started to get into that when I got into the food actually from high school. You know, I used to cook. I always said that I always said I didn't want no woman to bust no style on me. You understand? So if you think you could keep me because you could cook, you're wrong. Because the chances are I could do it better than you. So
Wow.
you understand?
That's
But don't they
I feel
say-
like that's one thing. Like even like my mom would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like yo, make sure you know what I'm saying.
you know how to provide for yourself.
Yes, my mom said one thing my mom always says like yo, you can never starve.
That's it.
I mean, true.
That's
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
But then is it not true that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach? Is that not true?
Okay.
Just since we're talking about food, I'm just asking. You said only if you can't cook?
I mean, no. Honestly, I actually, in my particular situation, even though I can cook and I like to prepare my food a certain type of way, you got me if you went out your way to make sure that you cook.
did.
Yeah, you
Okay.
cook. That's what you call that? Like a kind of love language kind of thing?
I mean,
food?
yeah. I mean, it's not on the list, but it's technically an act of service.
Okay, yes.
Technically, it is
What
an act.
like
Because you know the 5 love languages, one of them is acts of service. So if you're making sure that if you're doing something for someone that makes it easier on your day, then that is a form of a love language.
okay, cause cooking is part of mine. If you can cook, you know what I mean.
So I mean, but that's an act of service.
Right. So
Are
I
you an
consider
active
that.
service person? We're not talking about you now. We're talking about we're back. Where he was explaining.
I say turn your back.
No, what I do, I take that.
Disrespectful as fuck. Goddamn.
No, I look at it from this. I see it as it's deeper than the actual food of just eating. It's nourishment, right? You're doing something that I need to survive. Not necessarily from you, but you took the initiative to do it to me. So I look at it like that is love to me. That is something that, to me, I feel love when you do that kind of thing. So yeah, I respect it. But I started cooking myself in high school. It was like my freshman year of high school. And I don't know where it just came over me that I was like, yo, I could. No, actually, one of my teachers was like, yo, you know, you can make some money if you open a restaurant one day. And I was like,
Because you were cooking and
I
your
was
teacher.
cooking. Yeah, I would like bring in stuff like, you know, they have like International Day in high school.
Oh, yeah.
So I would bring in stuff and they'd be like, your mom cooked that? I said, absolutely not. She's not getting up to make stuff. Crazy. So
I did that.
I definitely did
One
that.
man in the kitchen, holding it down.
One pot.
One pot. Sweet TNT.
Nah, I really did. And then what I started to do was started bringing in food to sell to the students. And I was selling for
So
$5.
technically, did you really start with the food selling portion, or were you also doing music in high school as well?
No, well, I was doing I was doing music before high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Since I was singing and doing like talent shows since I was in, you know, junior high, 1 or 2 times I did them in elementary school. So it predates that. But for me to say that I pick up food and say, yo, and I was selling it for cheap too. It was $5. And one time I just realized, like, you know, I used to go to Grady High School. And
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah. Apologize.
Well, they said no lady Grady.
I'm
but
I don't know.
it was such an interesting how that school has changed. But I realized when I went there, kids used to like sneak out to go to the Chinese restaurant and like take a barrette. I don't know where they finding barrettes.
Everybody did that, man.
And put it in the door.
Yeah.
And to
Because we don't eat that school lunch.
yeah. What'd you call school lunch back then?
We call it I forgot, but
Skills. That's what I know it as, right? Yeah. Nobody was like, nobody's not skilling it, bro.
we're not eating that shit.
I can't.
The most we
You can't
eat.
relate? You liked it?
No, my mom always cooked for me.
The most we do is probably eat the fruit. You know what I'm saying, like the apple or something like that. Other than that, we're not eating that shit.
Nah.
That little round
You're talking
piece
about
and
high
shit.
school.
You know what I'm saying?
I also went to performing arts high school, so
It's fancy. It's like a little different.
and we could use the college cafeteria. So the college cafeteria is way better.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
obviously college food's going to be bad. But let me say this. Once I realized that was something that needed to be filled, I started selling food. I would be sold out.
No, that makes sense. That makes complete sense.
But that was only at Grady. When I moved to North Carolina, and that's where I finished high school, I'm like, yo, the food is very different.
It was good.
yo, it's soul food down there. Fried chicken, is candy yams, and I'm like, this is
at the high school.
Yes,
Oh,
South Mecklenburg High School.
well, wait a minute.
Guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different budget.
But so did you? Yeah, it is. New York is just trying to make it with all the kids and all the schools.
Max.
I was gonna ask a question though, and now I forgot. Oh, so like, I mean, okay, so you kind of had that, I guess, like hustler entrepreneur spirit even at a younger age, right? Yeah. But so did you have a regular 9 to 5 like after graduating from like college and stuff like that?
Yeah, I sure did. I worked. You know, it's something I always told him to, like, I had 22 jobs.
This nigga's like a Trini Jamaican.
You just hop around or like...
No, what it was...
Like 3 at a time?
No, what it was is that because I sang, when I graduated from high school is when I actually decided that I was going to really take this professionally and go to Trinidad to release my music for Carnival. And
after high school?
Yeah. I mean, I released my first song in my junior year.
What was your first song?
My first song was actually Call You Ready on the Soca Man Jam rhythm. My first release song. Yeah. And I had worked with a producer who was really big at the time. Probably his name was Poopa Nasty.
Poopa what?
I know. Poopa Nasty.
So one more time?
Poopa Nasty.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure the audience hear you.
I can't.
He's actually the producer of the original song Work that Shinsia did over with Meg Thee Stallion and Nick Cause all that.
Oh, the original one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's the producer of that. So I was around during those days when those guys were making those records. And that's why I always say I was around it from such a long, early age. And when I went back, when I decided I was going to do the music, me and my father, even though he was an artist, because he had went to jail for a minute, and he had got arrested when I was young, so...
The real ghost.
When he went to jail, he wasn't there to really kind of ment him.
Y'all didn't even know this thing was Tariq in real life and shit.
Yeah,
wow, that would have been a minute ago if that was the case. Nah, but when he did, I didn't really have a mentor, so I decided I was just going to jump out and go to Trinidad by myself and just do my thing. So when I come back after the carnival, it's like, well, I'm not a celebrity yet, so I gotta get a job. But so it was kind of a repeated process. I would go get the job, then
you would like
leave.
quit, then get another job.
No, sometimes they let me come back.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they'd be like, "Nah, you're talented," and then sometimes they'd be like, "But in what that spot is not here."
In what field did you like? Is there a field that you kind of stayed in that you had either like after you went to college, or did you just kind of like whatever job they was gonna give you?
I didn't go straight to college, so it was a lot of retail jobs. In between, like, so I didn't go straight. I ended up actually working for the hospital in Bellevue.
Oh, at Bellevue.
That's the last job.
Real job. Yeah. That was it. You know, and
when I met this nigga, he's working for the JetBlue.
Sure was.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not a bad job.
No. Getting on flights and shit.
He's like, hey, I'm trying to get me a buddy pass right now.
When I worked at the airline, I used to do stupid shit, man. I would like go to Trinidad to get a beer, come back home the same day.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
He'll go to get a beer. I don't know if you just heard me.
I heard.
He'll go to get a beer.
I understand. I have friends that are like.
Then come back.
What was your job though? Were you like a flight attendant? You were at the airport?
No, baggage.
Yeah. But once you got those flight benefits,
he's like,
there's people that work in New York but don't live here. They only fly in for like the weekend to work.
Go get a beer and come back.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
You understand if I have flight benefits, you would not see me.
Because that, the costs will add up. So, but I really wish at the time I did some smarter things in this entrepreneurial spirit I'm in now. I used to watch coworkers used to like, a lot of the Jewish guys, they will go to Italy, buy wine that's like, I guess worth a lot of money, thousands of dollars. Come back, buy it cheaper there.
And sell it.
Yeah, all the Spanish guys used to go to Japan, buy car parts. And then send them back. So like they knew what to do to make use of that because a flight to these places are expensive. So they say.
So I want to like.
I was in Miami.
It's no more place. I'm going back to Miami. So what was your? So we want to stick with the music for a bit. What was your first hit? Like your first in your standards hit.
My standards. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will tell you differently, and they'd be like, this is a hit, but to me, I would say Pop Out.
Pop Out?
Yeah.
Pop
Out was the song that just started.
How long ago was that one?
That was 2018.
Oh.
Yeah.
2018. I would say that. And
Know my shit, all right?
No Behavior.
No Behavior. Nigga.
No Behavior. When you remember when I first had dreads. Dreads was down here. Back in...
So he's exaggerating. It was
down here. But I cut it, and here we are.
He's a little exaggerated. But it's like, you know what I mean? Flexing a little bit.
Put a picture of me.
Flexing a little bit. It was long pause. It was annoying, but you know.
It
was, yeah.
Don't let him hate on your length. You had some good hang time.
Give him a picture. Let them put it up there. You let them decide. My hair was long. I went back now. Nah, that was No Behavior. I mean, I actually have a lot of respect for that because it's a song that completely just, well, if you get to know me, I'm kind of hands-on everything. Mm-hmm. But I really was involved with just the making of the video, everything. I just got to be really creative. Everything for me was a vibe.
Had a white guy in the video. He was like, Soka?
We was in the studio and I had like 20 people in the studio while I was recording, but not in the studio, in the room. Mm-hmm. In the room. When I'm recording, I want to feel that energy because I believe that will be in the track. So No Behavior was the first thing that Pop Out is the thing that really started to get me out there, and then, you know.
I mean, I think, you know what, what's that other joint? The joint, the video you did.
Oh, yeah, Chemistry 101.
I think Chemistry was a
Chemistry
good one.
101 doesn't really, to me, just didn't get enough push.
Yeah.
It just needed enough push. And that comes with your knowledge in your business, a journey of not just being an artist, but being behind it. When you're not signed, you're really everything.
So musically now, right? Because I've been in the studio with you a couple of times. We'll be working on this Flow Friday stuff. You know what I'm saying? Musically now, when it comes down, I know like you're dope musically, but now on the business side of things, right? How have you grown from, where you started to where you at now? Like, what have you learned? What have you grown? How have you grown?
It's really just took a stride of not being naive anymore. You have to really, when you're new, you just figure like, well, for me anyway, I just figure like somebody's going to see you and they're going to be like your savior and they're going to, they're going to bring you through it. They're going to teach you what you need to know. They're going to walk you through it. And I'm like, that person's not coming. Yeah. Especially nowadays.
Because I was saying, because also, when you go back to Chemistry, I remember we was doing little video joints for that too as well. Now we was going to put a whole Chemistry show together. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing my directing for a minute, but now like you said, I didn't get a lot of push, right? So now if you get a hit now, like what would you do differently?
I realized that you can't wait. Nothing happens by accident. When you don't know the business, right? You figure like, oh, you have a good product and therefore people like it and it just spreads. No, there's things out behind the scenes. There's very few things are really organic. You understand? So that viral moment doesn't always happen. Really, you have to work your record and make it. You have to be out there in the radios. You have to be there in the clubs. You have to be, you're going to annoy a DJ by asking him to stop his set to put you to, yo, please. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Just get it to him. He might not play it that day, but at least he has it. So really just being really aggressive. You have to be really aggressive because nobody's going to be aggressive for you.
You ever thought about like doing what Jay-Z did? Like get a bag of money, just going to the radio station, but like, play my shit?
No. No, I think about that.
Like, yeah, let's go play my shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's not how it works, sir. I don't go fuck. Play my shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Like, if you don't play my shit, I'll wait for you outside. You know what I mean?
Funny thing is, I've seen that too. I've seen the payment. I've seen the payola as it called. I've seen the
tell that nigga like, yo, Shane, I'm out. I'm gonna be outside. If you don't play my shit, bro, I'm outside waiting for you, bro. It's going down. You know what I'm saying?
It's been
and then be like, I'm from Trent, out bitch.
But I think that's an important thing to learn, though. I feel like as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to sell yourself. And I think because even for myself, I'm still learning how to sell myself because I feel like it's hard sometimes because a lot of people think of it as either bragging or bothering or doing all these things, but it's like, you have to do that if you want to push yourself forward.
Yes, you really do. You have to understand that you You wear many hats. Mm-hmm. And it's not so much as selling after having a plan leading up to your release. I never did. I'll be honest with you. I would just really put it out and hope for the best. Yeah. You have to have a marketing plan like there is for any other product you're going to do.
But that's learning, networking, marketing, sales. That's, as an artist, I mean, like, we take pride in the thing that we know within that art. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're very strong within that art. Like, this is who I am, right? But now you have to step out of that. So to step out of that artistic sense to go into that business sense is a whole different thing. Yeah. And that's something I had to learn for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking my first business I started back in 2009 when I left college and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, like, I seen the ups, I had success, I had failures. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the failures what you really learn from, you know what I'm saying? But then also, like, learning that other side, of getting comfortable with that other side. Because you're very comfortable when you're in that thing that you know. But that thing that you don't know is where, that uncomfortability comes from. It's like, oh man, am I really doing this right?
And it pushes you too, because that uncomfortable for me, when I started to make the transition from, I won't say out of soca, it's just delivering soca in my style, rather than trying to follow the pattern of other people, you really start to realize that that for me was an uncomfortable thing, because I'm like, yo.
And you can say it like, you know what I'm saying? I've been telling you for me. You've been like, yeah, because of this nigga casting, like, this reason why, you know what I'm saying? I put my style out there.
You want credit for that?
I mean, you can say that, you know what I'm saying, if you want to. Like, I ain't telling you to say it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want, people like, yeah, this nigga been saying for a minute now. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, yo, yeah, you can say that.
All right, so let me put our and I hope people don't be like hate me for this, but it's the truth. Us soca artists, even though there's been a change recently, we've been very heavy based on carnival. The genre is very much everything revolves around carnival. So when Trinidad Carnival is done, you're going to such and such carnival. Maybe Jamaica Carnival. You're touring off because it started off the year, right? And then you're hoping for Barbados Carnival, St. Lucia Carnival. Everybody's trying to eat a food and all these different things. But when that has been the issue, because Carnival's been there. But now when COVID comes,
no carnival.
There's no carnival. And now what is your other source of income? Because you understand? So that's been one of the realizations for me, that like, yo, we really have to make the music is still soca if we're not discussing a certain derivative of the carnival itself. That's why I always said it's hard to see this thing here, because if you love this song, the beat is nice, but I'm singing about Juve. What about the kids somewhere in Oklahoma who never heard, what is Juve? Are they saying Juvie? You understand? So like those kind of things, I can kind of stand back being on both sides and be like, okay, this is where we need to just tweak it, and without losing the cultural essence, because we're still gonna make carnival music, but we're still gonna have, and that's what you would say.
That's facts, yeah.
But, so that's why when I bring that up is to say that I didn't want to make anything that was strictly revolved around carnival, because it's a seasonal thing. The music, I want to be in this past that season. If somebody just started in the middle of July, like playing Christmas carols,
right?
You'd be like, what the hell, bro? Like, what mood are you in right now? So when you lock something into a season,
then
you understand, how can we say that this is so I'm glad that the things are changing, and that's really what I'm on. You've been saying that for a long time. You calls me a rapper for some reason. You'd be like, you're more of a rapper, but I guess because one of my influences is one of the biggest rappers of all time. I mean, even though I sing soca, but of course Marshall Montano was my influence, but because I listened to a lot of hip hop, Jay-Z was first for me to actually really get me thinking about lyrics and bars, breaking them down differently. So I have to say he's one of my influences as well.
No, so my question, because I feel like him and I have discussed this, and I went through this myself as well, of like, I mean, you've kind of like had a job, you left, went back to kind of a job, say, like you've kind of moved around in the sense of like the typical like 9 to 5, right? Whereas like I feel like I worked, besides doing acting stuff, I worked at 9 to 5 for like many years. So it was like once I made the decision to quit, and focus more on doing things on my own, like that was a huge, like I had anxiety for a little bit. Yeah. So just like, I mean, you kind of already had that entrepreneur spirit flowing, I feel like, over the years of your life. But I mean, making that commitment, because I feel like you haven't had a regular job now in some years. Like you've more so focused on your passions in that sense.
That is correct.
So I mean, like what now how has that been, or like what really gave you that moment where you were like, nah, I'm not going back to like Bellevue or whatever. Like I'm going to solely focus on now doing the restaurant, doing the music, investing, like focusing in that realm, then potentially having that cushion that a lot of people go back to.
You know, learning how money works.
Okay.
You know, learning some truths about business, and basically when you learn what you've been doing wrong.
Where's the iced tea? Just a splash. Okay.
But by just learning that, I realized kind of like, I feel like I've been playing the game wrong, you know? So it's almost like this. If you see some food and you say it smells good, but you know somebody did something to it, no matter how hungry you are, you're not going to eat that if you have sense, right? So you're not going to eat that food. So me personally, once I learned that there's something in that food, I ain't eating that no more. So that, and to me, it was a great feeling. Scary, like we talked about, being uncomfortable, that big discomfort there, but it's freedom, which is priceless. And now you figure you can do things on your own time. And I know children, you understand? So I have no other obligation but to myself and my community. So I looked at it as really, really, really an empowering, bold step for me. For me. Now, some people I see like they know, because the knowledge is out there before things weren't as accessible. But some people know what's in the pot and they keep eating it.
Like you're saying, like being tied down to a salary from like these companies in a sense, or are you talking about?
I'm not against salary, because you can be a big entrepreneur and still have a job. You know, one of the things that I have an issue with when it comes to people, because people think I'm anti-job, and that's not true. You understand? I believe everybody should have a job that gives them purpose. That's what I feel. You understand? So if you're a teacher, I respect you. You understand? You're a doctor, I respect you. But if you're just working in this office just because you know it's safe, and at least you have something, then I feel like you're robbing yourself of purpose.
That's the majority of the people, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you also have a lot of people who feel like they don't have purpose. They don't know what that purpose is.
So they just have the job.
So they just have the job.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to find yourself, that's one thing. But if you know that you always wanted to be this type of, in this field, but you're too afraid to move away from this, I feel like there's something better for you, and you're not letting the courage lead you to see where it is. I don't want to be in that position ever. I've learned that. I've learned too much about it and seen the other side that I can't go back.
Yeah.
You know, one time I would go in a store, and you know me, I don't.
Was it Gucci? The Gucci store? He go to the Gucci store.
Actually, was in the Gucci store when I had this.
It's like this is not an endorsement for Gucci.
No, it's not. I'm just saying.
Especially since we're wearing Louis V's on right now. This nigga,
it's not an endorsement for Louis V.
The wrong shit.
Yeah, you gotta call Aquel J if you want him endorsement. Now I'm saying if I was in the store and I realized that it was something, I can't remember exactly what it was I was trying to buy. But I knew that the price that he was charging, it was a couch. It was a couch.
From Gucci?
That's a whole different kind of shit. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, if we don't talk Gucci, we don't talk Louis, it's not that this motherfucker's talking about a couch.
No. It wasn't a Gucci couch. But it was one of those.
Went straight to Bob's or some shit like that.
It was a luxury couch, so to say. So I said, listen, they were charging a certain price. And I said to them, I just don't want to pay that. Now, I don't have no problem paying for anything that's worth. I'm not I'll never pay that for that. I'm just, you have to justify the price to me.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, he's like, yo, man, I'm giving you a good deal. I was like, it doesn't matter what deal you're giving me. That's your price. So I could always charge something for $1,000 and be like, I'm gonna give it to you for $8. I know what it's worth, $5. So I don't care that you want me to see the difference in it. So when you start to see things on the beat, it just changes how you move. You know? So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like everyone's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Like,
everyone's not.
I've heard that. Like, I remember the first time I've heard that was, I think junior high school. I mean, there's I think it was a teacher. He was telling me like, yo, I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? But I have a thing where I like to bring everybody in with me. You know what I'm saying? When I do things, it's like, yo, and he's like, listen. Not everybody's meant to be a boss. Some people is going to be. Some people, it's like someone got to be a garbage man. someone have to work in that restaurant and shit like that.
I don't even think your job has to be,
bring
even though
everybody
garbage men make bread.
They make good money.
But I will say
that. And sanitation make good money.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that
Especially when it snows.
I wouldn't do that
Especially when they drive the truck.
Yeah,
they make money. But I will say this though.
Don't have that much garbage.
It doesn't have to be such a entry-level job, if you want to call it that. It could be you have your job, but you're just making sure that you're eating in different areas. Because one is too close to none, right? So I think everybody should invest. No, everybody can't be an entrepreneur or probably shouldn't be, but everyone could invest their money.
So what are you focused on investing in? Like real estate, stocks, crypto?
That is the move for me next. That's
real estate?
Yeah, my 2022 focus is music and real estate.
Gotcha.
You know, the restaurants that I did were virtual concepts that just were very, I guess, that were just successful, especially during the time of need, which was during COVID when I brought them in. But now that that's already kind of established itself, so to speak, I'm ready to like focus on the thing that gives me purpose, which is the music.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I always learned that owning property was essential, but why was more important to know. So it's not just to own property, it's to make sure that that property is an asset and not a liability, right? So much people out here, they will have a situation that they're living in.
They're living in. They have liabilities.
Right. Liability is not making anything from you. It's just you going through spending your money just to upkeep it, you know? But when I started to learn that you can actually make that in itself work for you, that's when I started to realize, wealth is quickly built through real estate. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's still a lot of things that I know, like I have to learn too. I mean, I think I've been okay. Like I've made some steps further than I feel like, I don't like to say like than other people.
Yeah, the average motherfuckers. Yeah, do
so
that.
Aggressive.
Yeah, say it, man. Just say it. Own that shit.
I feel like I've taken like some steps just to be like, you know, like owning property or like the whole entrepreneur thing.
Flex on them.
But you know, that's why someone like you is who I need to talk to.
Flex. How much you got? Flex on them. Let them know.
But see, but him saying that, like, the comment that I made before about like being an entrepreneur and like pushing for yourself, that's where I have a problem, right? But I think it also ties in for me on the fact of like, this is going to be so left field, but like, because I feel like I got bullied when I was younger for being an actress. Stop it. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm telling the story.
I'm trying to get you a hug.
No, don't hug me.
Been bullied and shit.
But I think part of it is that then I don't want to brag about, I feel like I'm bragging when I talk about what I do, right? When I know I don't mean it as in like I'm better than anyone.
You are.
But
say it.
No, I don't think I'm better than anyone.
Just say it. It's okay to feel that way.
You feel like you're bragging. Why?
Just because then people take it a certain way, right? So then as an actress and as someone, even with my like financial literacy stuff, I feel like I have to learn how to sell myself. And that's where I feel like I've always had an issue. I don't know how to sell myself because I feel like in selling myself, I sound like I'm bragging and then it's going to be looked at negatively. Where my mother, she sells everything. Like she sells herself, she sells me. And part of me want to be like, just you go ahead, you sell me. I'll just stand here and look cute.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Gotta brag, yo.
But I mean, like that's something that
it reads. It reads.
Do it.
Sometimes you do have to be afraid, like push past that fear of bragging. It reads with confidence.
Yeah,
it reads.
I have confidence, but I think that's what like, I feel like in the space of where now I'm in the space of like fully focused on creating, right? That I have to remember the people that I have around me that are also creatives to be like, hey, I'm an actress. Hey, like, remember I do this.
I have a question.
Where I feel like people don't remember that.
Are you holding back from saying that you're an actress or that you own property? What is it that feels like bragging?
Oh, just
all of it.
A little bit of all of it.
Do you feel, this is what I'm going to say. I feel like, one, I don't believe people will take you as bragging unless you really are bragging to yourself. Then it will read. Granted, things can get misconstrued, but still, most of the time, your intent will read in your innocence of what you're doing. But two, how confident are you in these things? Because if they're doing well, then you will speak highly of it, right?
Oh yeah, no, everything's
all right. So then, so no, when I say confident, I mean like, yo, I have 3 houses, 4. I don't know.
You got like 5, 6, 7 now.
I only have 2. 2. In my mind, I'm working on number 3.
All right. No, but you see, in that self, no, that's something to be really like.
We're going to Detroit.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You still nah, but that's something to be proud of. Yo, can we toast to this black woman and her accomplishment? Toast to that.
All praise to the Most High, King Selassie.
But it's more so, I think, like the entrepreneur aspect. Like, I never thought I think I would be in the space that I'm in, which is why, like, when we have people that have quit their job, like, that's why I ask those questions, because I think a lot of people are afraid to do that because they're comfortable in getting that paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, you show up, you do what you need to do, you get paid.
You got a lot of folks that's scared too, man.
True.
Like, it's like, I think people, like you just said, right? Because I've met people who is scared of the aspect of, you know, what people think. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, someone's going to think I'm this and that. You can't be scared to let people go. You know what I'm saying? And it's in life, you're going to outgrow people. So you can't worry about what everybody else is going to think about you. I mean, unless you want to just stay, you want to handicap yourself or hold yourself back because of other people, because you don't want to, you want to surpass them and shit like that. You can't be scared to let people go. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you really feel like have that Superman complex, you feel like, listen, we can do this. I could do this for everybody or whatever. But so if that's the thing, you don't really have to let people go.
So what happened to Hammer, baby? So what happened to Hammer? Trying to bring the whole hood with you and shit.
But so I have a question, because him and I have gone back and forth off camera about these type of conversations. Well, no, we even had a conversation about it on the podcast. But someone that is an entrepreneur, I'm going to ask, right? So I'm a big traveler, right? I be going, right?
You be going.
I be going. And we have the conversation about like him, you have your goals, you have, things
we have those too.
I'm sure you do, but I'm just talking about our conversation so I can bring him in, right? So we have our conversations about like your experiences in life, right? And to me, I feel like traveling is one of those things where like to experience, right? And he feels that like he wants to wait until he gets to a certain point when it comes to traveling, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to like a certain thing, multitude of things, right? Before he goes in that direction.
And that relationship part is not only me. You experience other people with that relationship part too.
Well, okay, we'll touch on the 2 things.
I saw that episode.
We'll touch on the 2 things. But what I'm saying is that like, so do you feel like you've reached a certain point where you could be like, or does that matter to you? Does it matter that you're either at a point or to reach it in order for you to experience other things in life? Or are you like fine with it? Did I ask that question correctly?
I did. Because I saw the episode, I actually understand the context behind it too. Context. I said, we've had that conversation too. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
After the episode, he was like, "I don't agree with you."
I told him shit
about the traveling aspect.
We done had this joint like a couple times too. Like we done had this conversation a couple times.
But so now I want to hear your view.
Granted that I'm going to bring it from the perspective of someone who seeing new things is essential to me writing and being creative. So I have to travel. I have to put myself out there. Because you let me, sometimes, if I don't feel like I will be fine in the house. You understand? But I have to go out there and see things, see new culture so I can actually have new things. That's one. Two, I feel like it's just essential for really your well-being to see how other cultures or how other people are. There's so much there could be improvements on your life just by just seeing other things.
Agreed.
You know, and I say this is why I say it's not such an expensive luxury that you have to wait until you're in.
So
agreed.
So listen, I partially agree, right? Because like you said, right, it's something that helps you in your craft, right? As a photographer, if I travel, it helps me in my craft. That's great. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so. I was going to
say that would.
Now, again, when it comes down to you have the vlog then that you put together. That makes sense because you're taking your trips and you're turning into something. You know what I'm saying? With what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like you have a lot of people, right? Again, because we're creative and it's different, right? So you have a lot of people that don't know how to separate that. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to do their business. They want to do their third, but then they get lost in the process. You know what I'm saying? Now, I believe that I study wealthy motherfuckers. Like this is like I went to school for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I constantly study these niggas, and it's like most of the times you've seen it, you've heard it where they lock in. You know what I'm saying? This is all they do. Either it's Kanye West just doing a bunch of beats, or it's Bill Gates, or it's whoever the case is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get to a place where you lock in. You have tunnel vision on this thing that you're trying to create. You know what I mean? And it's gonna get you there. You know what I mean? But I just feel like you have a lot of people that, especially like, you know, if you ever listen to Les Brown, he said the richest place in the world is a cemetery. Because most people die with their passion, die with their dreams, die with their hopes.
But do you feel that, like, entrepreneur or not, right? I guess just as someone that is an avid traveler that loves to learn about other areas besides where we are, I feel like that still can add to your life and then add to everything else that you are doing. The same way, so tying in both things, the same way I feel like if you find the right person to potentially be in a relationship with, even though you are on a path to meet your goals, that person can also assist you, giving you other insight, giving you other thoughts, giving you that push that alone you might not have.
And I agree, but the thing is find the right person, right? Now also, like, when it comes out to the business side of things, again, I'm told to the entrepreneurs. Now if you're not an entrepreneur and you just want to travel in life and you just want to whatever, then that's you, right? But people that want to make a couple like that, there'll be those like obscene numbers of millions or be a billionaire one day or whatever the case is and shit like that. To get there, you have to have tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on what. That's really selective. Maybe you have a position in a job, right? And you have to have television to elevate in there, and it can be a big position. But I remember hearing Steve Harvey say, like, I didn't have the money for it, but I made sure that I bought a suit and sat and bought a first class ticket every time because I needed to feel what it felt like and not want to lose that feeling. So he's traveling.
But he's doing that to travel to other comedy shows. There's a lot of comedians that would tell you, like, yo, they've been doing comedy for years with no breaks. You know what I'm saying? Cat Williams said the same thing. He didn't have a vacation or a break in however long when he started doing comedy. Like, he dived into comedy. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of comedians that just dive in. The successful ones will tell you, this is basically what they did. You know what I'm saying?
But you can still travel and find.
I'm not saying you can't. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you know, the excessiveness that some people, and I feel like the excessiveness that some people do it at, and number two, when it comes down to, and I'm only talking about entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? Because this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? This is basically like who I'm talking to and shit like that. But the level when it comes down to, like, when you take your trips and you go wherever the case is, or you come back motivated, or you come back, a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's comes down to the individual. Again,
would you come back unmotivated?
I'm not talking about myself, but if I was talking about myself, like, I'm always motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do a lot of trips in the first place. But I remember when I started my first business, I had my partner, Kurt, and he said, yo, and he told me one day, like, one of the reasons why, he was like, yo, this is one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of people don't You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, we're great. Like, we're just doing designers. We're great designers and shit like that. But he's like, we're not gonna be the top of the design game, because those people they tunnel vision into that shit. We're still partying, turning up, drinking, smoking, you know what I'm saying? Want to fuck all the hoes and shit like that. Whatever. That all actually takes time.
I think that,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes time to be like, oh, the bag of bitch go to a bitch crib, listen to third. I mean, it takes time. Like, you're gonna be doing all that stuff. Like, you're too immersed in the world and not into that craft is and shit. It's like, all right, I'm gonna be the top of the game. You know what I'm saying?
I think that that's overkill. Those are people who are really not focused. First to begin,
it's a lot though.
That might be, but like we said, everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
There's a reason why it's the
right.
One.
Everybody can.
There's a reason why you have the 1%ers and the 5%ers and shit. Like, it's not as a lot of people that's like super focused. Like, a lot of people talk about wanting certain things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, hey, I want to do an LLC. Some people talk about doing an LLC for years. This is like, I have 3-4 LLCs and shit since I've started my entrepreneurship aspect. You know what I'm saying?
I think that there's a different...
I know people who say they want to do a podcast and they'll probably buy 1 or 2 things and never touch it on a podcast.
That becomes the argument of people saying they're going to do something and not doing it, right? Those can be the people that still never travel or still never do things and still never do what they say they're going to do.
Exactly.
Right? But my argument, though, with you as someone who is motivated, as someone that is focused on your goals, not saying that you should not be, and obviously not saying you should put yourself in a hole, but my thing is, like, I still believe in experiences that make you more of a well-rounded person that you can then use in your craft. So like, traveling to me, if we're sticking with traveling, is something that has enhanced me as an individual. So that now when if I write something or I'm in something or whatever, I can say, well, yeah, I've traveled to a place that I've experienced this, or I've talked to people that have been in this situation or whatever, because I decided to experience, right? Versus it being like, I have a goal and I'm never going to get it done. So I always get concerned when people only wait until a certain thing to do things, because then, God forbid, and I never want to put this on anyone, if you never make it to whatever this higher ideal place is, then you never got to experience life. Right. So much. Because there's so many people, and then also tying in the relationship aspect, there's so many people that will say, I have to get here in order to have a relationship, to start a family, to do this, to do that.
I have babies, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you on a different level.
Got a couple of those. You know what I mean?
But so I'm going to ask you your opinion on that, right? Shifting from the traveling aspect, like, I feel like people like to wait till they're at a certain level to start, even getting to know someone or building a relationship, where I do feel like you can do both if you are with the right person. That's not true. Saying that everybody, but if you are with the right person. But what are your views on being an entrepreneur, but then potentially having a partner with you at the same time?
Or a family.
Yeah. Because besides the family aspect.
Like I said, regardless, at the end of the day, listen, it takes time. I had my first kid with 21, 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I know how it affected me in a certain way, or slow my process up, or slow my mindset up. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you're going to worry about your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say, like, yo, I could have went to one of the top design schools in America, in San Francisco and shit, and I didn't go. I mean, I could have went to New York Film Academy, you know what I'm saying? I didn't go because I had to spend a year in California and shit. My son was young, you know what I'm saying? So, as someone who did and also made reasons to not do, you know what I'm saying? I know in a relationship takes this, I always say it takes the same thing it takes, you know what I'm saying, to chase your dreams or do a business or whatever the case is. It takes time. It takes dedication. It takes, you know what I'm saying? And that's to me. I see, like, a lot of white folks, they'll take their time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Black people, you know what I'm saying? They'll have kids early, like me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a different race after that.
I can only say that it is likely to work if both you and your partner are in industries that align. Or if you guys are in, involved. I believe if it's something that's going to take the majority of your time, then you have to redistribute the time in a way that is not affecting the other. So if you, let's say, you have a part in my or what I'm going on, or you're an actress, so maybe I'm a part of your team because everyone has a team, right? Therefore, there is a common purpose. It's not so much on the outside being like,
that keeps
I don't know what's going on. When is she going to take? Like, I'm part of it, so I know. You understand? We're all moving this together. I think it gets difficult if you're with someone who has no understanding of what's going on. You updating that person what's going on with you is not really top of the priority, and you guys are just doing But
see, understanding is different though, because if you're with someone, you can choose to then understand their profession, regardless of what it is, entrepreneur or not, right? If someone is a teacher, you can choose to understand what comes with being a teacher. If someone is sanitation, you can choose to understand that, right? So like, I feel like it has to do with the person, right? If the
but if the person I'm talking
is
about
understanding and supportive, you can still build together.
But you don't think there's always going to be, regardless, right, that human element is always going to play a part, right? It's like it's a reason why relationships and marriages and all that shit. I mean,
but
like,
you have to put time into everything. We all need human connection. We all need human connection, right? We all do, regardless of if you want it to be a marriage or a one night or whatever. That's fine. We all need human connection, right? We all yearn for that in some way, shape, or form. So I feel like if you find someone who is willing to understand whatever profession you are in, willing to support you, right? That does not mean that you should automatically say, no, we can't go down this road just because I'm not at this level.
I think it's tough.
But that's been our argument.
I think it's tough. I think regardless, it's tough because we know the society that we live in. So, I mean, yeah, we could talk about, what it should be, but we also hear on a daily basis of people that don't make it in whatever the case is.
Baby.
It's not, but it's not what we chart with.
Here's prime example. Remember Tabitha Brown, Yes. Okay. So she's an actress, right? Her whole vegan thing, all that stuff. Her husband is a police officer. So these are two completely different fields, right? But yet I feel like trials and tribulations, all that shit, whatever. But I feel like at the end of the day, he supported her in all of her, auditioning and all this stuff. And now that she is at that point, she can then allow him, because I think she said she was going to retire him early because she makes now a good amount of money, that then he can do something else besides just being a police officer. I feel like if you find someone that supports you and is there with you, you can, regardless of what field you're in, you can go on that same journey together.
Tell that to Wendy Williams, though.
What do you mean tell it to Wendy Williams? I'm sure it was working at one point. I don't know about the shit now.
Well, my question is, what level of is necessary for that type? So what level of support? Is it extreme, moderate? Obviously not low, but...
Yeah, I mean, that depends. Like, so as an actress myself, right? So, like, I know, even with my friends, but if I had a boyfriend, I would be like, babe, I have this audition. Can you read lines with me? Right? And I mean, like, that might be annoying to them, might be 20 minutes out of their day, but to me, that is support. Because
is that moderate to you? Or is that extreme?
I guess that's moderate.
I guess as I asked the question, I realized it could actually be based
extreme
off the
for somebody else.
Right. Because to me, I'm like, that's low.
But I think regardless, I'm saying it is the individual, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is...
You be sounding like it's impossible.
I mean... Yeah, for me, but what I'm saying,
right? Because it's not really a task, and it's not supposed to be. It should be easy.
It's an individual. It's an individual thing, right? Because I could deal with someone who is, just real relaxed and not really about whatever. Well, like, you know what I'm saying, and. Yeah, I could be like, nah, I'm not good with that. Or I could be, you know what I'm saying? Or you could be
the conversation that we've had is that you've said if somebody's not in the same field with you, if they're comfortable, but you said if they're comfortable in their position, right, then you feel like that's not good for you. But I said, not everyone is an entrepreneur or can be, but if they support you still in your journey, then what's wrong with them having their 9 to 5? One of my best friends is a teacher. Her boyfriend wants to do the entrepreneur thing. But she enjoys being a teacher. That does not mean she does not support him. I'm not, right?
So I believe you can But I do feel like when it comes down to it, a woman is going to be a woman. They're going to want that time, this and that. I'm saying for me right now, I'm not. For me right now, I'm just not willing to give that time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if I get to that place where I'm ready to give that time, that's fine. I mean, if you are as a man or a woman, whatever, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying for me, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not willing to give that time.
And that's what I'm trying to say now, because that goes back to the first thing when I said, if you're a part of this, rather than just being an outside supporter, that time is happening.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah,
you are.
That makes sense.
Let's say you can't mix a song. You don't have to master a song. You're not a vocal coach, are you? No. Okay.
She can't hit a note.
Gotta make sure she got a lot of hats too.
I was in a musical. I can hit a note.
She can't hit a note. Sorry.
Wow, he's disrespectful.
But let's say you know how you have an eye for fashion.
But I'm saying that's still a level of support.
Now you're my stylist. Mm-hmm.
He's saying
I'm putting you
your
there
business
because I've created something where I need you there. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like
we're doing this together.
Right, because we're together.
That can still work though, even with someone that's not necessarily in the same field.
That's why I removed you from the. I was saying you're removed from it, and I just gave you something. You're not in the field of styling. I'll be your only client. Mm-hmm. But I'm giving that. I'm making you a part of something, even though, let's say, you were a librarian. You understand?
Right.
So I gave you that. Why did I choose librarian? I gave you that. That's like
librarian.
Not a comment.
But I'm saying the ideal healthy relationship, right? Like, regardless of what path or profession your significant other is in some way, if you support them, there should be certain things that you would either help them with or not, right? If I was to date a doctor, I am not a fucking doctor, but if I know I can cook you breakfast and lunch to take with you to work because it makes your life easier. If I'm like, hey, babe, because you're a doctor, I happen to see XYZ just on Instagram. Does this help your life? Like it's slight effort, but it doesn't necessarily take away from your goals either. But so that's why I don't feel like a relationship some relationships can be hindering. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying that people aren't toxic and people don't want everything that their way, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're like, babe, I'm going to law school, and they'd be like, bitch, I don't care. Like, that's fucked up. But if you find someone who is supportive, regardless of what profession that they're in, and they care about you, then you can still be in a relationship and grow in your business.
And you can travel.
And you can travel and still reach the same goals, but now you can be like, yo, we reached this together. You held me down, you helped me out, and whatever, versus you feeling like you had so much tunnel vision, you had to do it by yourself.
Correct.
Well, you can't do anything by yourself.
But then what's wrong with having a significant other that's willing to help you do that? I think you just have a thing about the relationship. You want to be able to remove yourself whenever you want to versus being semi-committed to someone who is willing to help you.
Now I'm going to commit with someone who is... I don't know. They gotta be. Like I said, we just gotta be on that same vibe, that same frequency of what we trying to do in life. You know what I'm saying?
That's really it.
Like
but that goes hand in. The frequency is the same. Most of the time, there's a problem is when you guys are not on the same page and the frequency not matching. So maybe your experience of seeing people go through that, maybe that's really why you saw it that way. Like, yo, this person is too needy or this or that, and they got bigger problems in career. They might have relationship problems.
Exactly.
So but if two people are on the same page, we both trying to accomplish this, even if they're not in the same industry, like you said,
and I believe that it
can work. Yeah, matter of fact, it'll help you.
So as a woman, right, that I was telling him this earlier, dealing with y'all species. Okay.
God. There we go again.
Dealing with your species. I always end up when I talk to people, I've been hearing often, I'm not.
She likes a light skin rapper type,
You would be surprised the last person I was talking about, they were dark skinned. So I'm going to go somewhere. I don't have a type.
Okay? Light skin rapper bro type.
Drake.
You see why half the time, do you see what he just wants to... The point I'm trying to make is the people that I have been dating or chatted with over some time recently, I've been hearing from the men that it's like, oh yeah, you're XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't feel like I'm at the right place. And I listen to them. I don't get offended. I hear what you're saying and I don't bother you. But I feel like there's a lot of men that always feel like they have to be at this place in order to potentially date someone that can also grow with you. Because I know who I am. I know I am not a needy person. I know I have shit that I want to achieve. So if you got shit you want to achieve, then we can do that together. So it's like, because I know I am that, and then when I meet men that are like, oh, I'm not at the place that I want to be, I'd be like, bro, we could do this shit together.
But it's the same conversation though.
But it's also, what is the place?
Because you're never, because you can say the next place, and the next place, he might think and be distracted by it as a financial thing, but his place might just be from a maturity standpoint, and using that to mask.
I'm not there yet.
Right. There's so many different variations.
Right, but it all comes to what place they're telling you the truth. They're just not in the right place.
You just gotta,
right.
I mean, pick up what you're putting down. You know what I'm saying? And by that, you can pick it up or put it down. You know what I'm saying? It's on you, baby.
You're asking for a relationship. I'm not in the right place. I might be saying it's because I need to be financially here, blah, blah, blah. And I might believe that. I really believe that. But there's a level of maturity that you might have come to that you know you don't have to be there to be. And he's telling you subconsciously, I'm just not in that.
No, I listen when people say what they say, but I'm expressing that. Like, I feel like there are a lot of men
who say that
if they're not at a right place, either with their job or they do have a goal that they want to reach first. And like, I mean, I have my own goals. Like, I don't want to have kids before I'm married. I don't want to have, I would like to be at a certain place where I can afford whatever, but I'm not going to necessarily block my blessings with a man that I feel like could go on that journey with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I don't have to be at this point if I meet someone that I feel like could be supportive and stuff like that.
So what do you do? Because you don't want to block your blessings. So what do you do if a man's telling you that? You just try to convince him otherwise?
What do you mean? No, if a man says it to me, I let him go.
Yeah,
I don't try to convince
it's funny.
anyone.
Like, I think about like females. A lot of females kind of like try to talk a man into.
No, that is not me.
And then when things when things end bad and shit like that, it's like,
he said it. But I'm saying,
that nigga told you what it was in the first place.
If a guy did come to me and was trying to date me, and then I was just like, no, but I'm trying to be at this level of being an actress. Like, that to me is what I'm saying, where I'm not going to necessarily turn him down if I feel like he's supporting me in where I'm going, right? But I feel like when it's the other way around, that there's a lot of men that do fuck up situations or turn them down because they're not at this line that they want to be at.
Yeah, because if a man go like, yo, listen, I'm just not there. A woman's gonna be like, I may not be there, but fine. You see what I'm saying? Like, I may not be in that place, but fuck it, I'll try it out. A man gonna be like, yeah, listen, I'm still fucking these hoes.
That's what it is. You still want to fuck these hoes.
So I ain't trying shit out. You know what I'm saying?
But it's the same thing. It's equivalent. I'm not there yet. If I was there yet, I wouldn't be caring about those.
I think it's also, again, it's just again, we're going to a whole different level.
I know.
But we're talking about is just the difference in, like, men and women, like what a woman wants, what a man wants and shit, and the time it takes to get there for a woman than this for a man. Y'all get a little faster. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if I leave it up to y'all be married by 21.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Women just get there faster than men. You know what I'm saying? It's just that y'all don't want to hear that.
Okay, well, I was focusing more on the entrepreneur, like the business side of it.
Okay, well, he's telling you the same shit.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's my thing. Just, well, that's what I said.
I mean, I don't disagree that it could get difficult. You understand? But I do not believe that you need to, unless that person, the stipulation, right? Unless that person is like really, really bothering you to an extent that you can't even create that person is not really supportive. Like,
but that's what I mean. Like, giving you the space, giving you like some time, like, I think it is possible to do. And I feel like there's a lot of men that just don't think it is possible to reach their goals and potentially have somebody with them.
So what do you think about what I said about making the person a part of your organization?
No, I agree.
Do you agree that would actually help the situation?
I think you have to be involved to a certain extent. To a certain extent, you can't be completely in the blind about somebody's profession.
So you say everybody needs to be involved regardless.
What do you mean? Like in a relationship?
When you say you think you need to be involved.
In a relationship, I think you need to have an understanding of the person's profession so that there is a level that you're involved up to. Okay. I don't mean you have to be on payroll, right? Like, but like I said, if I'm dating a doctor and I don't have the degree to be a doctor, but I understand what is required of you. So then maybe as your partner, my way of supporting you might be making sure that everything else can be taken care of for you. Or like if I find something, can this help you? Right? But I can't go there and do surgery for you. I can maybe buy your scrubs if I see a sale. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are things to be.
Scrubs on sale.
But you get what I'm saying. But like, those are ways that you can be supportive to someone. If you know I'm an actress and I have an audition, are you willing to read with me versus being like, I don't know what you're doing and I don't understand this. So that's where I feel like it depends. There's different levels of involvement. But I feel like if you make an effort because you care about the person, then regardless if they're on payroll or not, and they just support you, then it can still be done.
No, I agree. I agree with you. It can be done, but it just takes a level of
care.
Right.
And if you're in a healthy relationship, you both should care about the other person, where caring about someone doesn't necessarily take away from yourself.
And that's the thoughts
Drop
of
mic.
Drop mic.
You pick that shit back up. But again, we could talk like this for hours and shit, man. Because we definitely.
I'm in this little Coleman love sandwich. I need somebody else on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
But
I held my own. It's all right.
You right.
I know my views.
But once again, man, another great episode. Definitely follow us on thirdeyemedia.com, Third Eye Media Instagram, the YouTube Third Eye Media Network. Follow us. You know what I'm saying? Follow this man right here. Where you follow you at?
Check Aquel J, AQUELJ. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, everything. All social media.
He be TikTok. He be doing
the new single Breeder streaming everywhere.
He be doing the TikTok dances and shit.
Never. Never happened. Never.
Of course, follow Chick or Trey. You know what I'm saying? Follow me. And let's keep it going, man. Keep the Frank podcast, yo. Not ready yet. We're gonna keep it going a little longer because that's what I do. You know what I mean? I host this motherfucker. But yeah, man. Listen, appreciate you for coming out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for
great episode.
Thank you for having me.
Came through the chain and the Louis.
Yeah.
Artist mode.
Yeah. Nah, he came late in everything. I'm gonna speak on that.
Artist mode.
I was about to say just
but yo, man, thanks again for checking out the Keeping the Frank podcast, man. We out this month.
Yeah.